Hey everyone, my name is Grant. I'm 60 years old and I work out at home. And on this channel, I share my ideas and perspectives on working out for older folk and anyone else who cares to listen. So, I've been seeing lately on YouTube some questions about training biceps for the peak. Now, I realize my arms aren't gargantuan by any means. At just under 16 inches when I was in my 30s. I had them over 17 inches, about 17 and a half inches, which was pretty big for someone of my height. Um, so the long head of the bicep, uh, I think that some people don't really realize that the bicep is consisted of two main heads. There's the short head, which is the inner part and the bigger meatier part, and then there's the long head, which is the outer head that crosses over the shoulder joint. Now, this muscle is probably one that's not worked as often as the short head, and therefore that's why you're not seeing a lot of bicep peak. If you focus more on just doing, curls like this, where your arms are a little bit wider, you're going to be focusing on the shorter head. But if you do specific movements that focus more tension, time under tension on that long head, you're going to end up developing it more so, and it's going to be more pronounced, and you're going to get that peak, and you're just going to make your arms that much bigger. So when thinking about developing the long bicep head, here's some things to consider when training it. Since the long head crosses over the shoulder joint, the arm position relative to the torso is a big factor on what part of the bicep is going to be developed. Having your elbows behind your body is going to help stretch that shoulder, your grip width, whether you're out wide or in close, and just the angle of resistance. Now, and one other thing is internal and external rotation of the shoulder makes a difference on what part of the bicep is going to be trained. So that being said, I have 5 exercises I'm going to quickly show you that if you focused on these, instead of doing 2 or 3 exercises for your short head and maybe one on the long head, why don't you do 2 different exercises for the short head, or sorry, for the long head, and one for the short head, and prioritize that outer part of your arm if you want to see some peak there. So here we go, 5 exercises that'll help you get there. So if you've watched this channel at all, you're going to know right away that the incline dumbbell curl is probably my favorite bicep exercise. Now, what I like about this one is that just going back on an incline and doing your curls naturally up like this, you don't have to worry about if your shoulders are externally or internally rotated, because they're actually internally rotated right now just by the way your arms are hanging down. So therefore, you're working a little bit more of that long head naturally, and you just have to curl. Do what you do. And if you do these a few sets every workout, dumbbell workout, or sorry, bicep workout, I know after a while you're going to notice a difference in your outer bicep. This is a good one for the long head. All right, that's number 1. Up next. I know. Right now you're saying, hey, where do I get a pair of these fancy dumbbells? Well, ask my wife. Up next is these are the cross-body hammers. Now, right away you're saying, whoa, brachialis. But the thing is, when you go cross-body like this, because you're internally rotating your shoulder, you're going to hit a little bit of the long head. Now, this won't work the long head of your bicep as well as, say, the incline dumbbell curls will. So you might want to use that one to transition from when you're doing, if you do your bicep and your brachialis workout together, that might be a good one to transition into after you do your regular bicep exercises. Do those crossbody hammers, and then you'll just give the long head just that little bit of extra work. Next up is a drag curl. Now, full disclosure, I don't do this one very often, but I was reading that this one is good for hitting that long head, because when you do a drag curl and you're pulling up, you're taking your shoulder front delt out of the equation, and it puts more stress on that long head than it does on the short head to bring this weight up. So you can try those. Let's do a few and just see if I can feel it in the long head. Of course, I don't have any weight on the bar. Okay, let me see. Maybe. I have been doing the other exercises, but yeah, I could see that. When you take that shoulder out, it kind of mimics the hanging back doing the incline. Yeah, try that one. All right, this one you probably know is coming. Now, when you do a regular barbell curl and you just let your hands hang down naturally, now this would probably work your short head a little bit more. So what you want to do is you want to bring your arms in a bit, your hands in a bit. And now what are you doing? You're internally rotating that shoulder. Therefore, going to put a little bit more strain on that outer, the long bicep head. Now this one, I know that if you add a bunch of weight, for me, this one bugs my wrists. You can use an easy bar for this one, or use dumbbells, which I use more often. But this is a good one for the long head. And you can add some weight to this one. If it doesn't bug your wrists, you can really add the weight to the barbell to work those long head of your biceps to get that peak up. All right, one more. All right, lastly, these are the overhead cable curls. Now, if you have a Bowflex like I do, or if you have a Nautilus, some type of cable machine, you're at the gym, there's lots of them there, obviously. Now, the problem with the Bowflex is that it's a little bit too high for this exercise. I would like to see this down about no higher than the top of my head. I want the cable coming from about here as I do this, whereas here I'm pulling downwards towards me, whereas I would rather have the weight being pulled from here and do that like that. So on this one, you just keep your arm extended, pull away from the machine, and then curl that towards you, and make sure you're out like a T. And then when you do that, right when you're tensing here, that's going to work that long head and the short head a bit too, of course. But it's going to help hit that long head like the way you want. Let's try it on this side. And again, full disclosure, that's not one that I do. It's very rare. If anything, I'll do one where I have the cable lower like this, and I'll stand. And it's another one that you could use that would potentially hit your long head. But I don't use those a lot for cable or for biceps. I love using dumbbells and barbells. So there you go. That's 5 exercises that you can try, and maybe just try a set of each one day and just see which one really seems to hit your long head. Because just because the incline ones work best for me and I love doing those doesn't mean that's a good one for you. You might have injuries or just the way your body's put together, it's not the best one for you. You might enjoy doing the drag curls or whatever. So give those a shot. Let me know what you think. If you're looking for that bicep peak, remember, there's short head, long head. If you want the peak from the outside, you want to build up that outer long bicep head. So good luck.